Imagine the fashion queen of the world, Anna Wintour, secretly sitting down with BTS's Taehyung, and then HYBE abruptly cancels the meeting. What could be the reason? Would it break your heart? Or spark a bigger mystery? If you're ARMY, you won't want to miss this. Subscribe now because we're diving deep. The whisper that shook the fandom. Hey ARMY, lean in close because what I'm about to share isn't just gossip. It's a whisper that rattled hearts, cracked trust, and left us all wondering what really happened behind closed doors. It began in early 2025. Rumors started swirling. Anna Wintour, the iconic editor-in-chief of Vogue and fashion royalty, had requested a private meeting with Kim Taehyung. Not a photo shoot, not a brand campaign, but a sit-down. Just the two of them in a quiet room in New York with no cameras, no leaks. Conversation about art, architecture, influence, and fashion's next frontier. Fans went wild. Is Vogue doing a Taehyung tribute issue? Maybe a fashion film? Is this the start of his brand era? In fandom groups, theories bloomed. Perhaps V would become global fashion royalty, lead runway shows, co-design, occupy the intersection of music and couture. But then, silence. HYBE, the corporation, officially cancelled. No statements at first, just whispers. No reschedule. Many of us breathed. Hope clashed with confusion. So today I want to walk through this journey with you. The promise of that meeting, the emotional stakes, the cancellations, the rumors, unveiling not just what happened but why. If you feel your heart pounding reading this, good, because we're going to feel this together. The invitation, when the fashion world reached out. Let me tell you how the whisper began. It started with someone inside Vogue's inner circle. They noticed Taehyung's growing presence in fashion. His streetwear moments, his aura, his visuals on the red carpet. There were moments when V appeared less like a K-pop idol and more like a muse. The tilt of his collar, the soft fall of fabric, the quiet power in his gaze. One evening at a high-fashion event in Paris, Anna Wintour watched from the sidelines as V walked by. His appearance striking. In that moment, sources say, a seed planted. Let's meet him. Let's understand him. Let's explore what he sees, what he dreams, where he could lead. Then came the tentative reach out. A discreet message from Vogue's team to HYBE's PR. We'd like to arrange a personal meeting with Kim Taehyung. No shoot, no press, just conversation. He was intrigued, but cautious. Because in that proposal lay power and unfolded possibilities. Brand deals, fashion influence, public expectations. And HYBE has always balanced craft, control, and fandom. Behind the scenes, I'm told, V was thrilled. The idea of speaking intimately with someone like Anna Wintour, someone who shaped fashion for decades, was electrifying. He imagined discussing silhouette, culture, texture, the relationship between music and attire. His mind raced with questions. For us fans, it felt like destiny knocking. But destiny is messy. And so the stage was set, but the lights didn't fully rise. Emotional tension. Hope meets fear. Let's pause there. Imagine being Taehyung. You've spent years in constant spotlight, where every pose, every wardrobe, every photo is dissected. You've pushed against expectation to find your voice. And here's an invitation. Speak directly with the gatekeeper of fashion beyond the facade. You feel weighty excitement. But also fear. V's internal voice might have whispered, what if they see me as a novelty, not an artist? What if the meeting becomes a media show? What if I disappoint? He would have faced pressure, balancing humility and presence. And on the HYBE side, tension built too. There are many moving parts. Branding, contract obligations, scheduling, optics. If that conversation leaks, how much control slips away? If it becomes a highly anticipated event, expectations swell. And if it disappoints, the backlash could be real. Meanwhile, fans, us waited. We sensed potential. We urged HYBE. Make it happen. We speculated. Maybe they'll unveil a fashion short film, a conceptual project. Our hearts raced at every social media hint. But reality began to strain under anxiety. The emotional tension. Hope fighting fear, visions dancing with constraints. The date that was supposed to be. Now let me tell you what insiders report. The meeting was tentatively scheduled for mid-June 2025. In New York, perhaps at a private Vogue office or a neutral studio. The calendar was cleared for a few hours. Quiet lunch, followed by an exchange of ideas. Maybe photographs afterward. Not formulas, just moments. V was informed. He prepared. He cleared time. HYBE's team arranged security, logistics, but insisted. Low-key, no press, no leaks. Not even to fandom. V's heart must have raced. After months of waiting post-military, after speculation about his fashion identity, this was more than a meeting. This was validation. He likely jotted notes, mood boards, inspirations. And he may have asked, "What do you see for me?" But days before the meeting, whispers of a problem surfaced. A scheduling conflict. A branding concern. A disagreement on public disclosure. The rumor was, HYBE and Vogue couldn't agree on how much of that meeting should become public. Vogue wanted something, maybe an editorial or teaser. HYBE hesitated, said, "No leaks, no promises." Then came the fateful message. HYBE officially cancelled. The meeting was off. No reschedule announced. No public explanation. At that moment, for many armies, hearts cracked. The fallout, confusion, doubt, and rage. When cancellation news leaked, the fandom response was electric. Shock, confusion, anger. Across Twitter, Weverse, fandom forums. Why? Why cancel? Became the refrain. Some fans grieved as though a dream was snatched. Others suspected malicious motives. Or worse, that HYBE saw risk outweighing reward. A few worried about hidden controversies, or that the company lacked confidence in V's public fashion role. The emotional wound was real. I read posts. They promised us the meeting, then vanished. Are they scared of letting V shine too much? V deserves more respect. This is corporate control at its worst. It was raw, visceral. The fandom's love is fierce, but its wounds bleed deeply when promises break. HYBE for a while stayed silent. Met with rumors in closed boardrooms. Bell was given PR lines later. Scheduling constraints, logistical complications, creative alignment. But sincerity felt absent. Meanwhile, V posted nothing. No statement. No photo that day. Maybe that was part of the agreement. Or maybe he was hurt. Maybe he was disappointed. Inside, I believe there was relief too. 'Cause sometimes silence is safe. No misquote. No PR backlash. But to us, the silence felt heavy. And we cried not just for the meeting, but for what it meant. Constraints, boundaries, trust tested. Chapter 6. The Revelation, What We Later Learned. Time passed. Fandoms speculated. Leaks dribbled. And eventually, bits of clarity emerged. One source close to Vogue said the editorial team wanted to produce a visual short. A Vogue x V conversation, with photography, portraits, perhaps a style spread. But HYBE balked. They feared overexposure, losing narrative control, leaking creative direction. Another insider claimed that HYBE was wary of setting precedent. If V's private meeting with Anna gets turned into content, other artists may demand similar privileges, shifting power. HYBE's architecture of control would feel threatened. Further whispers. Conflicts over compensation, contractual clauses, exclusivity rights, royalties from images. Vogue wanted some rights to images or usage. HYBE pushed back. Creative rights, distribution, usage boundaries. All became minefields. I also heard a hidden factor, timing. Mid-June 2025 was soon after discharge from military. BTS and V were in early stages of resetting. HYBE didn't want to risk leaking a half-formed concept, or opening paths to rumors before the official comeback era was ready. They needed absolute precision. Put that together, Vogue wanted editorial weight. HYBE wanted control, continuity, minimal leakage. The negotiation failed. So the meeting died, not because of lack of interest, but because its form could not satisfy both parties' needs. To me, that reveals something deeper. The fight over narrative, image, authorship. V's potential was too big, and power can be scary. Emotional aftershocks. For V, for HYBE, for ARMY. Let's pause again and feel what this must have done to V's heart, to HYBE's machinery, and to ours. For V. He was promised a conversation with someone who shaped fashion. He likely felt excitement, ambition, longing. Then that meeting cancelled. Not by fate, but by negotiations he couldn't fully control. He might have felt rejection, doubt, frustration, even anger, even heartbreak, but also resolve. Because the meeting's cancellation might sharpen his vision. If they won't meet me quietly, I'll demand to be seen differently. For HYBE, they faced their own inner conflict, wanting the prestige of a Vogue meeting, yet refusing exposure that undermines control. Wanting V to grow, yet fearing unpredictability. Wanting art, yet cautious of risk. Their cancellation choice revealed that control remains central, even when dealing with something exceptional. For ARMY, our faith wobbled. We felt betrayed, by free promises, by silence, by opaque corporate logic. But also protective, wanting V's dignity, wanting him not to be used or overexposed. Many of us cried, not for the meeting lost, but for V's space and autonomy. The emotional aftershock lingered. Unanswered pleas, sleepless nights, refreshing news, frustration at power structures we couldn't change. But deeper still, pride in defending him, in demanding respect, in staying hopeful. What this means for V's fashion era. Now here's where things get thrilling, even hopeful. Because cancellations sometimes birth stronger forms. First, clarity of vision. V, after this experience, might be more deliberate about fashion identity. He'll understand which kinds of meetings, which brands, which agreements align with his voice, and which don't. Second, independence. He may push for more autonomy, writing contracts that protect his image, having veto power on leaks, demanding equal creative rights. That Vogue meeting may get revived, but on his terms. Third, raw storytelling. This cancelled meeting becomes part of his narrative. Pain, resistance, triumph. When the era comes, it's not just images. It's struggle, growth, boundaries breached. Fourth, strategic timing. HYBE, after witnessing the fallout, may not rush forward. They may let V's fashion story unfold slowly. Guest appearances, brand collabs, exclusive interviews, allowing him space to breathe. The Vogue meeting someday might be a capstone moment, not a risky launch. For ARMY, that means we'll have a front row seat to evolution, not performance. What to watch going forward. So here's where we turn our attention forward, with hope, eyes wide. These are the signs I'd watch for in the months ahead. Clues that Vogue or other fashion houses reach out again, but now under terms. Editorial only, image rights retained by V. V's own fashion statements, streetwear, silhouettes, collaborations, that point to independent direction rather than HYBE-controlled branding. Interviews or social media musing from V about fashion philosophy, creative control, image authority. Strategic, small-scale fashion content. Lookbooks, mood boards, photo drops, quiet but weighty. HYBE's announcements about brand partnerships for BTS members. Will they allow more autonomy? Public appearances or fashion shows, where V appears in guest or muse roles rather than as idol. Eventually, a revived meeting with Anna Wintour, or someone of her caliber, but now with equal power and narrative alignment. And when that meeting does happen, if it does, it will carry the weight of betrayal, healing, control, and vision. The heart of it all. What this story teaches us. Before I close, I want to share what I believe is the deeper lesson in this story. Beyond fashion, beyond idol, beyond fandom. This is about control and narrative. An artist will always want to be seen on their own terms. A corporation wants to protect its brand and structure. When power meets art, tension is inevitable. The cancelled meeting reflects that tension. It's messy, emotional, revealing. It's also about voice and agency. V didn't let the cancellation silence him. He continues to make music, visuals, moments. He's growing even in waiting. And that teaches us. When opportunity seems denied, the creative self adapts and evolves. It's about boundary and respect. Even when a meeting is denied, the respect for the person must remain. For V, this moment demanded boldness. For us as fans, it demands empathy and patience. And lastly, hope in uncertainty. We don't always know the full story. We don't know the strategic chess behind decisions. But in the unknown intention there is fertile ground. The cancelled meeting may be a fissure that opens a new world. A broken promise can become a more honest one. Chapter 11. What this means for us Army. How we move forward. Now, dear Army, here's where we step in, not as bystanders but as believers. 1. Hold compassion for V. Know that behind the silence is feeling. 2. Demand transparency but also trust process. We deserve answers, but not at the cost of misusing force or speculation. 3. Celebrate his fashion voice, even when it's small, street photos, outfit choices, casual posts. 4. Stream, support, uplift his solo work. Let those metrics speak value. 5. Be patient but not passive. We can ask questions but we also wait with dignity. 6. Share stories, talk, debate, uplift each other. Our emotional community matters. 7. Prepare for comeback, whether it's fashion first or music first. Stay ready to welcome him into new territory. Your heart matters. Your voice matters. As this story unfolds, we walk side by side. Epilogue. A promise of return. As I bring this to a close, let me return to that hook. The secret meeting, the cancellation, the ghost of what could have been. That moment is a crack, but from cracks light enters. Anna Wintour's invitation was real. Taehyung's excitement was real. HYBE's cancellation was real. And through all of it, the deeper story is real. Of power, of art, of a young man carving his space in a world built to direct him. One day that meeting, or something even more powerful, may come. It may not look like what we expected, but it will carry authenticity. It will carry intention. It will carry V's voice. Until then we wait, not as needy fans but as guardians of his story. We protect his dignity, demand his respect, amplify his growth. And when that day arrives, we will greet it not just with cheers, but with tears, because we'll know how far we walked to get there. Thank you for walking this with me, for feeling this story as deeply as you do. If this resonated, share it with another Army. Let them know they're not alone. And if you haven't yet, subscribe. Because the next chapter is coming, and trust me, we'll want to hear it together. Until then, hold hope, hold belief, and know there's more to come. Purple Heart.